Hey, you're watching Back of the Room with Matthew Gill for Punchline Magazine here at the Hollywood Improv with Aaron Karo, who has a Comedy Central special coming out, Rest is History, on Comedy Central Friday, November 19th at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. He's the founder of Ruminations.com, a very popular website, and a best-selling author. Aaron, thank you so much for coming out and meeting with us.
All right.
And so you're from Plainview, New York.
Plainview, New York, Long Island, yes.
You're Magnum condom user,
Magnum
right?
cum laude.
Magnum cum laude.
Right,
That's how intelligent I am.
Yes,
I can't even say the word. So that means you're a good test taker.
I'm a good test taker, very good test taker.
Okay, so
and the cum laude, that's college though. That's college.
Yeah, I mean, so for economics, you're sitting at a desk, you've got a tie on, you're in banking,
Right, I'm on Wall Street, yeah.
And then.
Well, basically, I had been writing this column in college already called Ruminations. It was then called Ruminations on College Life, which was just an email forward I started sending from my dorm at the University of Pennsylvania. I started sending it to 20 people. It started getting forwarded around, just something I was doing for fun. And by the time I graduated, I had about 11,000 subscribers on this mailing list. But again, I didn't do anything with it. It was no master plan. I graduated. I went to work in equity research at this giant investment bank. And a couple months after I started working, and I don't think we had to wear ties. I think it was business casual. I kind of blacked out.
Yeah,
I don't even remember what I was wearing. I ended up getting a book deal from Simon & Schuster to publish a collection of the columns.
Okay, so let's stop there.
Yeah.
So for everyone out there who's trying every day, this couldn't have just fallen on your lap. I mean, you're making phone calls to someone working on your behalf. I mean, how does that?
I had signed with a manager
in college.
Basically, I sent like a farewell email to my mailing list. Like, I did this for 4 years. This is, it was called "Is There Life After College?" I'm graduating, and I said at the bottom, like, I don't know, people have been saying I should do a movie or a TV show or something. So if you know anybody who knows anybody,
Yeah.
let me know. And again, I'm a kid from Long Island, was going to Penn, like didn't know anything about anything.
Yeah.
And so another Penn grad who was a couple years older than me was out here managing screenwriters, and he contacted me and was like, I'd love to work with you. Your stuff is great. And I was like, okay. I literally didn't even know what a manager was.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
And so he said, why don't we, before we make it into a TV show, why don't we try making it into a book? That seems to be more the obvious route, which makes sense. It was very kind of a brilliant insight because it was already sort of written out.
Yeah. And
so we sent it around, and one day I got an email from a girl who went to Vanderbilt, and she was like, I've been following your email list throughout college. I'm so sad you graduated, but I want to let you know that I'm an intern this summer at Simon & Schuster. And your manuscript is on my boss's desk in a giant pile right now.
Wow.
So I'm going to move it to the top and make sure that she reads it first. And then 2 weeks later, I got a phone call that I got a book deal. So that was the extended version.
Yeah,
So
that's
we
cool.
It was still sort of very easy for the first book deal, but it did take me 4 years of writing and developing an audience. Yeah.
So I mean, you had kind of your fans in the beginning
Right.
had really kind of moved the chess pieces forward.
Yeah, they to this day. I mean, I would not be. I mean, I know everyone says I wouldn't be there without my fans, but literally a lot of the stuff I've gotten is like someone's like, "Oh, I read your column, I forwarded it to XYZ," or I meet execs in LA and they're like, "Oh, my assistant reads your stuff." Yeah. So it really is pushed through that, and that's why I still send emails to this day. Yeah.
So it kind of leads us to a Twitter question, and we have, if you have a Twitter question, hit me up at Matthew Gill LA on Twitter, or you can hit me up on Facebook, Back of the Room at Facebook. This is from Facebook actually, from Ted Sanyo. Thanks, Ted. What is most successfully monetarily for you? Your website, your books, or your stand-ups?
Getting fucking into the details. I probably scripts. I've sold a bunch of scripts. Well, that wasn't a choice, but I don't know if you knew that.
Okay.
But I've actually sold now 4 pilot scripts that never got made.
Television or
television?
Movie? Okay.
Yeah, sitcom stuff. So I'm in that subclass of Hollywood people who write a bunch of shit that never gets made, but then still make money from that. So I think that's the number one thing.
Who are your favorite people to perform? And I noticed that there's a lot of female fans.
Actually,
out there.
my fan base is about 65-70% female.
Yeah.
I actually have, like, from my website and the mailing list, I have demographic data on it. And plus, if you just come to my show, every time I do a show, it's so funny. Either the busboy or like the MC or the manager will like come back to the green room and go, dude, there's so many fucking chicks here. I'm like, I know, I know.
What do you attribute that to? I mean,
I didn't do it on purpose. I mean, it worked out pretty well.
yeah. Was it in your
but
diabolical plot?
This is my plot. I was in 1997. I was like, you know what? How can I get more girls in the next 13 years? Why don't I start doing this? I don't know. I think it's just because I talk about what guys are really thinking in a sort of honest, self-deprecating manner, and I don't know. Women seem to like it.
If you could go back to yourself,
Right.
You know, and you're 1 year into it, you're lost, you're
Right.
a wounded fawn in the woods. You
Right.
know, what advice would you give yourself as you are now to that guy just starting out?
It's a good question. I think a lot of stand-up really comes down to finding your persona, your point of view. Oh God, I'm talking like a Hollywood douchebag. Point of
People
view.
in Nebraska need to know this
Point
stuff.
of view is what everyone says in LA. What's your point of view? You know, mine is, women are desperate for guys to get down on one knee, and guys are desperate for girls to get down on both knees. See, log line, point of view.
Oh, do
bam.
you ever get pissed off when someone says something that good?
So-
do you ever get depressed immediately after you're impressed?
So, I think a lot of times you get up there and you're just trying to tell any joke that works, which is good. Which is good.
Yeah.
What worked for me is I ended up I stick to 3 main topics: drinking, dating, and fornicating, because those are what I know best. Those are what I know the audience likes,
Yeah.
and those are what I can write about the best. And so once you kind of develop that, jokes seem to come more organically once you kind of know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
So like if I have an idea,
Right.
then I kind of know where the joke is going, where the point of view is going, as opposed to just kind of, knocking it on its head.
So it's the last and best performance of your life. Okay.
Okay.
What 5 comedians do you respect? You know, to be in the back of the room, to see the best of what Aaron has.
Are they living?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive. Okay. So I probably have Chris Rock. I have Seinfeld. George Carlin. Man, judging me. Fucking judge.
And this is just thrown at him right
Judging
now. So if you're left
bastards.
out, don't be.
Woody Allen.
Oh, nice.
I tempted to say Larry David, but I don't know if you consider him a straight up
Yeah.
stand up.
You just want to follow him for a day.
I just want to
Just suck off that tea of
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. And who else? Who else should we get in there? Who am I missing? You got-
Any of your contemporaries you really like, or
We'll
They're mostly old school.
We'll put Tosh in there.
Okay.
We'll put Daniel Tosh in there. But then we should also note that there's also an album that comes out the day after the Comedy Central special.
Right.
So the special airs November 19th, and then an album drops November 20th.
Okay.
And it's a purely digital album. We're not putting out a CD. I mean, I haven't bought a CD.
Yeah.
So it's Amazon, iTunes, but you can actually download the video, not just the audio. So you
Okay.
can download the full video, and it's uncut and uncensored. So with the Comedy Central special, it's only going to be 42 minutes with commercials.
Yeah.
The actual set itself is 65 minutes.
Okay.
So you get like a 20 more minutes when you get the album, plus all the F-bombs and everything else.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And if you remember, Comedy Central, rest is history, Friday, November 19th, 11 p.m. Eastern.
And figure out everything else from
Yeah,
there.
everything else kind of trickles
Right,
downhill
album,
from there.
November 20th.
And AaronKaro.com, see him live. He's a good man. Aaron, thank you so much for
My pleasure.
coming out and
Thanks
doing
for
it.
having me.
Take care, guys.
Take care.